Hello viewers, I am Dr. Mala Das Sharma. Welcome you to my channel ChemPhilic. Let's start 36th episode of Teaching Chemistry through Riddle. Here is our riddle number 36. X and Y are two physically measurable quantities which have their corresponding operators. The operators of those two quantities do not commute with each other. The failure of commutation of operators of x and y is related to the revolutionary concept of uncertainty and probability. So this is riddle number 36. Now let's see the questions. Primary question is identify x and y. The answer is position and momentum. Second question is describe operator in quantum mechanics. Write the expression of operators of position, momentum and energy. So what is operator? Operators actually the mathematical instruction to carry out certain operation. Say for example, square root of 4. Here square root is the operator or it is the mathematical instruction to carry out the operation. It is working on 4 and the answer will be 2. Now an operator transforms one function into another. For example, operator ddx transforms the function x to the power n to nx to the power n minus 1. So here operator is ddx and the function is x to the power n. An operator operating one function and forming the another function. The function on which the operation is carried out is often called an operand. So here x to the power n is the function, it is called operand. Square root of 4, here square root is working on 4, so 4 is the operand. An operator A is symbolized by A cap. Every physically measurable or observable quantity like position, momentum, energy, etc. has a corresponding operator. The position operator x cap is equal to x dot means multiplied by x. Momentum operator linear at x direction p cap x is equal to minus IH by twice pi into dou by dou x. Kinetic energy operator at x direction. Kinetic energy operator x direction will be T cap x is equal to kinetic energy we know half mv square. And this expression we can multiply the numerator and denominator by m. So it is 1 by twice m. Multiply the numerator by m. So it will be mv square. So it will be now 1 by twice m. mv is position, that is the momentum operator. So it is mv square. That means it will be minus IH by twice pi into dou by dou x and once again minus IH by twice pi dou by dou x. So if we simplify, then kinetic energy operator Tx cap is coming as, look at here, this is minus minus plus. But I into I square is minus 1. So it is minus. Now H and H, that is H square. So this is H square divided by 2 into 2, 4 into 2, 8. Then pi into pi, pi square and this m. So minus H square by 8 pi square m into dou by dou x, again dou by dou x. So dou square by dou x square. Energy operator is known as Hamiltonian operator H. So energy operators, it is the combination of kinetic energy operator T cap plus potential energy operator V cap. Now energy operator at x direction will be kinetic energy operator, just now we have derived minus h square by 8 pi square m into dou square by dou x square plus potential energy operator Vx. Potential energy depends on the position. In 3-dimensional space, it will be this kinetic energy operator will be minus h square by 8 pi square m into dou square by dou x square plus dou square by dou y square plus dou square by dou z square. So the Hamiltonian operator H, which will be is equal to kinetic energy operator plus potential energy operator, will be is equal to minus h square by 8 pi square m into dou square by dou x square, dou square by dou y square plus dou square by dou z square and plus this potential energy operator. Third question, what is commutation of operators and commutator? Look at here. Here alpha and beta, these are two operators which are operating on the function psi. Now, if the operators operates in this sequence, that is alpha then beta psi, and you will get one result. And again, if the operators operate in the reverse sequence, that is beta alpha psi, and here also you will get one result. If these two results are same, then alpha beta are said to commute. Alpha beta are the two operators of a given function psi. Then if the results of the two operations are same irrespective of the sequence in which the operations are performed, that is alpha beta psi is equal to beta alpha psi, then the two operators alpha beta are said to commute. So commutation of the operators means this alpha beta minus beta alpha psi, that means alpha beta operating on psi and in the reverse way beta alpha operating on psi, and if you subtract it, that will be is equal to 0. That means the two results are same. If alpha beta psi is not is equal to beta alpha psi, then alpha beta do not commute. Now what is commutator? Commutator is symbolized like this within third bracket, these two operator, okay, alpha and beta here. So commutator is alpha beta minus beta alpha. That means it is operating on the functions, any function psi, alpha beta sequence and then beta alpha sequence, and if you subtract them, then that is commutator. So this is called commutator. When alpha beta commute, then this commutator will be 0. Here commutator means multiplication with 0. Now here is one problem. Alpha is equal to ddx, beta is equal to 3x square, function fx is equal to sin x. Find the commutator. So the commutator alpha beta fx is equal to, as we know, alpha beta minus beta alpha fx. What is alpha beta? Alpha is ddx, beta is 3x square and the function fx is sin x minus beta. Beta is 3x square, alpha ddx, function is sin x. Now if we solve this, ddx of 3x square sin x, okay, then first function, the differentiation of the second, that is differentiation of sin x is cos x, plus second function, differentiation of the first, differentiation of 3x square will be 6x, and here it is 3x square and ddx of sin x is cos x. So 3x square cos x, 3x square cos x get cancelled. So final answer is 6x sin x. Sin x is the function, so commutator is 6x. Now linear operator. See, linear operator is, say alpha is an operator which is operating on the sum of these two functions, that is fx plus gx, and you will get one result, and that result will be same when the alpha is operating separately on fx and then separately on gx, and then we are taking the sum. So alpha fx plus gx is equal to alpha fx plus alpha gx. If in operating on the sum of two functions, an operator gives the same result as the sum of the operations on the two functions separately, then the operator is said to be linear. And one more characteristic is, if alpha operates on this function which is multiplied by a constant, then the result will be this constant and the result of alpha operating on the function fx. Now fourth question, what is the condition for the simultaneous measurement of properties? One of the most important properties of two commutating operators is that the physical properties they represent can in principle be measured simultaneously and exactly. In other ways, any two observable properties can be measured simultaneously and exactly, provided their operators should commute with each other. If the operators are non-commuting, simultaneous measurement of the properties are impossible. Position and momentum operators do not commute. That's why position and momentum of any microparticle cannot be determined exactly and simultaneously. The position operator x cap is equal to x dot, and the momentum operator x direction, we know it is minus IH by twice pi ddx. Now let the particle is described by the function psi. Then, as we know, x px psi in this sequence, what will be the result? X dot, that means multiplied by x. Then this px, that is minus IH by twice pi ddx. Then psi is equal to what it will be? Minus IH by twice pi, this x, then ddx of psi. Now we take it the reverse way. Px x psi, that will be equal to minus IH by twice pi ddx of x psi. So minus IH by twice pi, again the ddx of x psi will be first function differentiation of the second, that is ddx of psi, plus second function psi ddx of x. So minus IH by twice pi into x and ddx of psi plus psi ddx of x is equal to 1. So finally this is the result, which is not same as that of this result. Therefore x px psi is not is equal to px x psi. Therefore two properties, position and momentum of a micro or quantum mechanical particle, cannot be determined precisely and simultaneously. The failure of x and px to commute leads to Heisenberg's uncertainty principle. Now, state uncertainty principle and discuss probability concept. Uncertainty principle is, it is impossible to specify at any given moment both position and momentum of an electron. That means the position and momentum of any subatomic particle like electron cannot be determined exactly simultaneously. And the equation is delta x, it is the uncertainty in the determination of position. Delta p, it is the uncertainty in the determination of the momentum, equal to h by twice pi. That means if the momentum is determined accurately, that means delta p will be equal to 0. In that case, the uncertainty in the determination of position, that is x, that will be equal to how much? H by twice pi divided by 0. Anything is divided by 0 is equal to infinity. That means the uncertainty in the determination of the position will be infinity, and vice versa. If the velocity or momentum of an electron is measured very accurately, the determination of exact position becomes impossible, and vice versa. That is, certainty of determination of one conjugate property induces uncertainty of determination of the other. Now, this uncertainty principle has given birth to the probability concept. It is possible only to predict the probability of locating an electron or any microparticle of particular energy in a given region of space at a given time. Now let's see probability distribution of electrons around the nucleus. Now let us consider the 1s electron of hydrogen atom. According to Bohr's model, this 1s electron, which is revolving in a stationary orbit around the nucleus, and that is 0.529 angstrom away from the nucleus. Okay, so Bohr said that the 1s electron is revolving around the nucleus of hydrogen, which is at a distance, that means stationary orbit is at a distance 0.529 angstrom from the nucleus. But this uncertainty principle and the probability concept tells that this 1s electron comes closer to the nucleus, going away from the nucleus, but probability of finding this 1s electron of hydrogen atom is maximum at a distance 0.529 angstrom from the nucleus. So, for any electron, we should say that probability of finding that electron in a of particular energy in a three-dimensional space around the nucleus. How much it is probable to locate that electrons. So, in case of hydrogen atom, according to Bohr, the electron under ordinary condition always remains at a distance 0.529 angstrom from the nucleus. On the other hand, according to wave mechanical model, the electron keeps on moving towards or away from the nucleus, and the maximum probability of locating it lies at a distance 0.529 angstrom from the nucleus. That means maximum probability of finding this 1s electron of hydrogen is at a distance 0.529 angstrom from the nucleus. So this is the end of this discussion. Thank you.